Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, President Muhammadu Buhari gives nod for the establishment of state and local government police, okays dismissal of 37 police officers and prosecution of 27 others. FCT Police Command parades 38 suspects involved in kidnapping and gun running, assures Muslim Ummah of adequate security during Eid al-Fitr celebration. President Trump meets Queen at Buckingham Palace at the start of a 3-day UK state visit. I am Rose Audu with the details of this and more. Advocates of the decentralized Nigerian police force none have cause to smile. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the recommendations of the Presidential Panel on Reform of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) for the establishment of state and local government police. The panel, headed by the Executive Secretary of National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, also recommended the dismissal of 37 police officers and the prosecution of 24 others. Now, the details.
Receiving the report, President Buhari thanked the panel for a job well done and directed the Inspector General of Police and the Solicitor General of the Federation to liaise with the National Human Rights Commission to work out modalities for the implementation of the report within 3 months. The President noted that in carrying out their statutory responsibilities, the police must at all times act within the ambit of the law and must not violate the fundamental human rights of Nigerians whom they had sworn to protect. He further assured that the human rights of every citizen will be protected under his watch.
The panel was empowered to make appropriate recommendations, not just for holding police officers found wanting accountable, but also on ways Special Anti-Robbery Squad and by extension the Nigerian police could be generally reformed. The decision directing the National Human Rights Commission to constitute the membership of the panel and to take the lead in investigating the said allegations of human rights violation was born out of the mandate of the National Human Rights Commission, which includes the promotion, protection, and enforcement of human rights in Nigeria as enshrined under Section 5 and 6 of the National Human Rights Commission Act 1995 as amended. It is also
submitting the report earlier, the panel chairman Tony Ojukwu said the panel also directed the Inspector General of Police to unravel the identity of 22 officers involved in the violation of the human rights of innocent citizens. He said the panel equally directed the police to immediately arrest and prosecute 2 retired senior police officers found to have violated the rights of citizens, one for extrajudicial killing and the other for illegal takeover of property of a suspect. Ojukwu said some other key recommendations include significant improvements in the funding, kitting, and facilities of the Nigerian police force.
Other key recommendations of the panel include significant improvement in funding, kitting, and facilities of the Nigerian police force, strengthening information and communication technology of the force, establishment of state and local government police, institutionalization of a special investigation panel to annually hear and determine complaints on alleged human rights violations against operations of the Nigerian police force, strengthening police rapid response complaints unit of the Nigerian police force and other internal complaint mechanisms of the force to make them more responsive, remaining the special anti-robbery squad to anti-robbery section ARS, which was its original name, and to make the section operate under the intelligence arm of the police.
Another key recommendation approved by President Buhari is the reversal of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) to its original name of Anti-Robbery Section. The objective is to remove the stigma presently associated with the name SARS. As the panel submitted its report, members were cleared on the expectations of Nigerians. The emergence of a responsible, responsive, efficient and effective police institution that would not only decisively deal with criminality, but that will be the pride of the Nigerian people. Anita Patrick, reporting for Clearview Television.
The police in Federal Capital City have arrested 38 suspects involved in kidnapping and gun running. The suspects were paraded on Monday at the SARS headquarters in the state capital by the force spokesman Frank Mba. Our correspondent Ifeoluwa Ishola has the details.
The suspects are part of the achievements of the Special Squad of the Operation Puff Adder of the police, apprehended for kidnapping and other crimes. The police spokesman Frank Mba says the suspect made up gangs that specialized in bringing into the country prohibited weapons and gave the details of the 6,000 ammunition recovered from the gang.
What you have on that desk is a total of 6,000 live ammunition. We also recovered a total of 20 AK-47 ammunition, 20 AK-47 rifles, 10 pistols, automatic pistols, 11 Dane guns, and 4 pump action.
Mba also assured the Muslim sisters and brothers that adequate security measures have been put in place to ensure that they can have a peaceful celebration.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Abubakar Damain PMMNI, has ordered all zonal AIGs and commissioners of police nationwide to step up securities in and around their areas of responsibilities. The instructions of the IGP are very clear. Commissioners of police must put in place adequate security arrangements around places of worship, recreation centers, the highways, and other areas where we expect Nigerians, particularly our brothers and sisters who have had this long period of fasting, to enjoy quiet and relaxing moments.
Operation Puff Adder, which was launched by the Inspector General of Police Abubakar Adamu, is aimed at reclaiming the public space from heinous criminal elements that are bent on threatening the nation's internal security. Ifeoluwa Ishola, reporting for Clearview Television.
The Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property has uncovered $8 accounts and other Naira accounts said to be kept by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation with the Ecobank PLC. The correspondencies obtained on Sunday show that the panel, through its chairman, Okoye Ogbono Obla, has written to the bank demanding the remittance of those to $2 million proceeds in the 8 separate dollar accounts into the federal government treasury single account. The panel's letter, dated May 22, 2019, was addressed to the managing director of the bank. It stated that specifically a total sum of 1,966,195 naira 38 kobo required to be remitted to the treasury single account was arrived at following the final reconciliation meeting held on May 14, 2019. The panel gave the name of the account into which the money should be remitted as Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation Special Presidential Investigation Panel, TSA, kept with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Responding to the demand, Ecobank, through a letter dated May 28, 2019, did not dispute the amount of fund demanded by the SPI PRPP, but gave 2 reasons it could not remit any fund into the TSA as requested by the panel. The letter, signed on behalf of the bank by its Chief Executive Audit, Phyllis Igbinosa, and Executive Director, Corporate Group, Dayo Akintayo, noted that the panel's notice was lacking in the breakdown detailing the components of the fund demanded. The bank's second reason was that it had a pending suit concerning NNPC's alleged indebtedness to it, as a result of which the matter had been rendered sub judice. heads of state of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, will make a final decision on the operational takeoff of a single currency soon. This will come after the submission of the report on the currency by the task force on ECOWAS single currency to the heads of states during its mid-term summit later this month. The head of ECOWAS National Unit in the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Musa Nuhu, who disclosed these in Abuja on Sunday, said there was also a committee of governors of central banks in West Africa working on the single currency for the region. Nuhu explained that after the summit, it would be confirmed if the region could achieve 2020 set target for a single currency. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday signed into law the 2019 appropriation bill of over 873 billion. Besides, the governor equally signed into law 3 other bills, including Domestic Staff Service Provider Bill, the Lagos Neighborhood Watch Agency Bill, and the Lagos State House of Assembly Service Commission amended bill. Breakdowns showed 55% capital expenditure of 479,691,730,705 naira and 45% recurrent expenditure of 393,841,387. The governor, after signing the bill, thanked the House of Assembly for passing the bill, assuring that his administration can take off with the speedy implementation of the document so that Lagosians can enjoy the full benefits of it. Governor Sanwo-Olu expressed appreciation and applauded the efforts of the Lagos State House of Assembly in passing this law and 3 others which he assented to, describing them as laws to put the state on the path of progress. While presenting the appropriation bill, Chairman House Committee on Appropriation, Honorable Bolahan Yishua, who represented the Speaker, Lagos House of Assembly, Honorable Madishuru Obasa, said the budget would help the state government to handle some sensitive issues and consolidate the gains of democracy in the state. The Imo State Governor Emeka Ihedioha has given former Governor Rochas Okorocha up to midnight of Tuesday, June 4, 2019, to do a proper handover to his government. Ihedioha spoke at the government house in Owerri during the swearing into office of the Secretary to the state government, Uche Enyabocha, and Chief of Staff, Chris Okewulonu. The governor afterward ordered the permanent secretary and head of service under Okorocha to quickly prepare all the necessary documents and hand them over to the SSG and Chief of Staff before tomorrow's midnight. The governor also urged Imo people who desired to have a feel of the dilapidation in the government house at the moment to feel free to do so. Ihedioha's warning is coming days after it was reported. He claimed that it has been very difficult for him as the incumbent governor to operate from the current government house in addition to the non-availability of documents to work with. Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) says it will establish Internet Industry Code of Practice for service providers in the country to mitigate the effects of cybercrimes on broadband consumers. Alhaji Ismail Adedigba, Deputy Director and Head Information and Reference Unit (NCC) Consumer Affairs Bureau, disclosed this on Monday during the 50th edition of the organization's Consumer Town Hall meeting in Ango-Iwoye, Ogun. The CTM had the theme Mitigating Effects of Cybercrimes, the Roles of Telecom Consumers. Adedigba said that the move became necessary as the liberalization of the telecoms industry led to unprecedented increase in the usage of internet-based services, which exposed more consumers to cyber threats. He added that the Internet Code is another regulatory intervention by NCC, expected not only to help secure cyberspace, but to also address issues relating to online child protection, privacy, and data security. Adedigba highlighted the importance of the CTM at the grassroots towards ensuring consumer safety, saying consumer ignorance was the most important advantage preyed on by cyber criminals and hackers. He said that the NCC believed that one of the most effective ways to protect telecom consumers from cybercrime was continuous consumer education such as nationwide CTM outreach. The program brings together telecom consumers with network operators and the NCC to identify, discuss, and jointly propose solutions to issues affecting consumers and operators. Business activities were on Monday morning paralyzed at the headquarters of the Securities and Exchange Commission as workers shut the premises of the commission. The workers under the umbrella body of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, SEC branch, locked up offices of the commission over attempts to reinstate suspended SEC DG Munir Wazo. Wazo had been indicted for abuse of office and corruption by an administrative panel of inquiry set up by the Federal Ministry of Finance, headed by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mahmoud Issa Duse. Wazo was also indicted by the House of Representatives ad hoc committee, which investigated his suspension by the former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. The National Industrial Court had, in a judgment on last week, ordered his reinstatement with immediate effect. The court also ruled that all his salaries and allowances paid to him. In his ruling, Justice Sanusi Kado held that the finance minister, who is the second defendant in the suit, lacked the power to suspend Gwazo, even as he dismissed 3 issues raised by defense counsel through their preliminary objection, ruling that the suit was not statute-barred. The Federal High Court in Lagos has sentenced the former Acting Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Callistus Obi, who was charged with 225 million naira fraud, to 7 years imprisonment. Justice Mojishola Olataregun sentenced Obi alongside Dismal Alu, who was the second defendant in the case. The duo had been standing trial alongside 2 firms, Grand Pact Limited and Global Sea Investments. The judge held that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission proved the charges against them beyond reasonable doubt. In the 8 counts filed against them, the EFCC said they conspired among themselves and on August 5, 2015, to convert 225 million naira belonging to NIMASA to their own. The prosecution said they acted contrary to Section 15 and Section 8, Subsection E of the Money Laundering Prohibition Amendment Act 2012. To prove the allegations, the EFCC called 8 witnesses and tendered 32 exhibits. At the close of the prosecution's case on November 11, 2016, the convicts filed a no-case submission, insisting there was no prima facie case against them. However, in the ruling on February 21, 2017, Justice Olarateogun dismissed the no-case submission and ordered them to enter their defense after the judge convicted them on May 23, 2019. The EFCC urged the court to impose the maximum punishment prescribed by the law on the convicts. And you are watching Clearview Television News. We will be back after this timeout.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
The Association of Resident Doctors in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, has given the territory's administration a 21-day to meet its demands or be ready for another strike. It says the poor treatment of its members is becoming unbearable and therefore demanded, among other things, the immediate release of the promotion of all 8 members who were successful in the 2016 and 2017 promotion exercise to the next grade level, as directed by the immediate past FCT Minister Muhammad Bello. The association's president, Dr. Roland Aibovu, stated this on Monday during a media briefing at the Wuse District Hospital, Abuja. Now the details. The President Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Roland, who read out the communique of the second quarter ordinary general meeting of the association, lamented the lack of infrastructure and personnel and other challenges that medical officers are faced with, and that they require urgent attention of the government.
The second quarter ordinary general meeting of our association has at its theme strategic leadership in the healthcare industry. This training became necessary in line with our vision to empower our members with a view to thinking outside the box and to come up with ideas, visions, and initiatives on how to advance the health industry in FCT particularly and Nigeria in general. The health industry will be faced with myriads of problems ranging from lack of leadership to implementation of policies geared towards the provision of adequate, acceptable, and accessible healthcare to our citizens. Our association is poised to bridge the gap. There was also training of some of our members chosen from the 14 districts and general hospitals, including the FCT Primary Healthcare Development Board and Department of Public Health, on neonatal resuscitation. This is to improve our service delivery and also reduce neonatal mortality rates, which is on the rise in Nigeria. So discussion, the association has been in discussion with the FCTA management over some contentious issues, which include stagnation of our members occasioned by the implementation of the skipping policy in the Federal Capital Territory Administration, payment of the first 28 days allowance, and conversion of some of our members to consultant cadre following their completion of the postgraduate training.
Speaking further, Dr. Roland also lamented the lack of equipment such as MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, in all FCT hospitals, as the only available one at the Asokoro General Hospital is no longer functional.
The major recruitment was last done in 2011. Now, many of our doctors have left the system either by brain drain or for residency training or resignation and even retirement. Some of them have also retired, and now no doctors have been employed. And these have actually led to casualization of doctors, because the FCT, rather than employ doctors in full capacity, now doctors are being employed on contract basis, which they call locum. Resolve these issues to the extent that we've met with the permanent secretary. Even of recent, we tried to reach him. For one reason or the other, we couldn't. We wrote to him for a courtesy visit officially. We didn't get any response. We wrote another reminder to him. We didn't get any response. Let me also add this. Many might say that, oh, there is no minister. Why are you doing this at this point, at this time? Well, the truth of the matter is that the minister has given an approval. He has given a directive. Whether there's a minister or there's no minister, there is no vacuum in administration.
The body therefore gave the FCTA management a 21-day ultimatum to implement all their resolutions with effect from Monday, 3rd June 2019. Failing which the association says it cannot guarantee industrial harmony in hospitals run by the territory. The Taraba State House of Assembly has held its fourth sitting and inaugurated members-elect. Also elected were principal officers. It was the fourth sitting by Taraba State House of Assembly's 9th Assembly, and presiding officers were elected by members-elect to begin the new era. Immediate past Speaker Abel Dia was re-elected as Speaker for the third time to lead the legislative arm. His deputy Danladi Gwampo was also re-elected. 24 members-elect were also inaugurated by the new Speaker at the sitting. The Zamfara State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has expelled the senator representing Zamfara Central, Kabiru Marapa, for alleged anti-party activities. He also expelled the immediate past deputy governor of the state, Ibrahim Wakala, and member representing Kauran Namuda, Birne Magaji Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Aminu Jeji. According to a statement on Monday by the party's state publicity secretary Shehu Issa on behalf of the state chairman, the decision to expel the three politicians was reached at the meeting of the State Executive Committee in Gusau, the state's capital, on Sunday. Issa said the provision of Article 21, Section A, 2 and D 5 of the party's constitution was activated against the three members for violation of the constitutional provision and engaging in acts inimical to the interest of the party. Consequently, a resolution was passed expelling all of them from the All Progressives Congress. He highlighted the provision of the section of the party constitution to recommend that any member of the party who files an action in court against the party or any of its officials without first exhausting the avenues for redress stands expelled. He added that the constitution also said no appeal against such expulsion shall be entertained until the withdrawal of the court case. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Edo, the home state of the party's national chairman, Comrade Adams Oshomole, on Sunday joined the loud calls for his immediate resignation. The group, under the umbrella of Edo APC Coalition for Progress, at a press conference held in Benin, the state capital, challenged Oshomole to toe the path of honor, accusing him of promoting nepotism in Edo politics and the nation at large. Spokesman for the group, Dr. Peter Olugun, vowed that members of the body would organize 1 million march against Oshomole soon in Abuja, should he fail to immediately step down as the headsman of the party, insisting that they no longer have confidence in him. Ologun said that they were determined to disown Oshomole as the son of the state for leading the APC as an emperor. A development, he said, caused the party its defeat in Zamfara, Rivers, Bauchi, and Imo states. He noted that President Muhammadu Buhari, despite having the powers in his hands in the governance of his country, has never interfered in the affairs of Katsina State and other states. But in Edo State, the situation is the reverse. The group said even in the height of the late Chief Tony Anene's reign, he never took advantage of his influence in gaining political power at both state and national levels. But what we have seen in recent times in Edo State is a situation where Comrade Adams Oshomole is the one directly promoting nepotism in Edo and national APC. The group added that the only way justice can be done to those involved in anti-party activities during the 2019 general elections is for Oshomole to resign from the party. The crisis in the ruling party worsened on Monday, May 20, as the party's deputy national chairman, North, Senator Lawa Shuaibu, in a letter called on Oshomole to resign. He also accused Oshomole of lack of capacity to build the party. A member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Olajide Olatubosun, has given vowed that nothing will make him step down for the leading contender for the House and anointed candidate of APC, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. Although his party has publicly endorsed Gbajabiamila, a Lagos lawmaker for the position, Olatubosun vowed not to step down from the race. Briefing journalists in Abuja on Sunday, he said that he would fight against imposition with the last drop of his blood. The APC has zoned the office of the Speaker to the southwest and endorsed Gbajabiamila for the office. Olatubosun said that Section 50, subsection 1b of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, states that members elect from among themselves any member with legislative experience to become Speaker. You are still watching Clearview Television News. The news continues after this timeout.
Commission.
The Federal Road Safety Corps appreciates the continuous support being received from the motoring public. Road traffic crashes are trending down and concerted effort is being made by the government to improve on road safety management. As celebration approaches, it is expected that road users will undertake trips to visit families and loved ones. The Corps encourages you to conduct vehicle safety checks before embarking on your trip. Avoid night journeys, use your seat belts, avoid overloading and driving above prescribed speed limits. Comply with road traffic laws and regulations. Prevention is always the best approach to avoid road traffic crashes and injuries. I implore you all to please partner with FRSC to reduce road traffic crashes on our highways. Drive to save a life. I wish you all happy celebrations.
Welcome back. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike on Monday asked the management of the Rivers State Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Agency to leave office. A statement by Simeon Wakwadu, his special assistant on electronic media, said the directive was with immediate effect. He directed members of the agency to hand over all documents and property of the agency to the Director of Administration. The statement added that the governor will meet with the chairman and members of the Rivers State Senior Secondary Schools Board by Monday to discuss the recent incident at the secondary school in the state where students were in disarray as a result of a panic caused when a chemical substance was detonated Friday. In community secondary school, Ororopo, Port Harcourt trended on social media. Initial reports said secondary school students brought in weapons ahead of a planned court clash between SS2 and SS3 pupils. Rivers State Police Command, in a statement by the spokesman DSP Nnamdi Omoni, said the police arrested 18-year-old Nicodemus Okaparu and 17 years Darlington Sylvanus. In his statement, Nicodemus Okaparu confirmed to have brought the canister from their house, which is part of the belongings of his deceased brother, who was also a police officer. But unknown to him, his friend Darlington Sylvanus detonated the substance, which threw the whole school into confusion as people scampered for safety, while some sustained injuries. Investigation is still ongoing with a view to unraveling the circumstances surrounding the incidents and bringing the culprits to justice. Some philanthropists across the Federal Capital Territory today toured various orphanage homes to further celebrate a true essence of children and show love and support to them. Clearview TV's Chinedu Mbatuegu was at the tour, now reports.
In continuation of the 2019 Children's Day, which was celebrated last week Monday, some philanthropists has extended a hand of fellowship to some orphanage home. The convener of the event, Israel Ibeleme, presented food items, beverages, amongst others, to the children and staff of the orphanage home. Israel revealed to Clearview TV that the act was to show love to orphans and promised to keep visiting and partnering with orphans.
Your Majesty, my God.
We've visited other charity organizations today, not you. From here we're going to somewhere else. So we're here to celebrate with the children, to show love to the children, also to say to them that we love them, definitely love them so much.
The convener charged everyone present to carry the information of the children's abilities to the world at large, so help can get to them. Chinedu Mbatuegu reporting for Clearview Television.
The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, Uja Tor Uja, has called for the building of a Christian pilgrimage heritage camp where pilgrims can meet for a retreat to avail them of all necessary information they require before departing the country for the Holy Land. Uja made the call during the 2019 Easter Pilgrimage Flag-Off exercise at the Pilgrims Wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Now, the details. The Executive Secretary, Reverend Tor Uja, who lauded the board members from the various states who were fully represented, describing them as the brain bugs of every pilgrim exercise ever. Speaking further, Uja charged all intending pilgrims to adhere to all instructions guiding their travels and stay in Israel.
Use some money. Don't spend all your life buying useless things. Some people buy boxes that before they reach the airport they are torn. Buy minimum things. Come back with 70% of the money and invest it in something productive. I want to go with a productive mind. be spiritual in your outlook, be developmental in your efforts, and of course, be social in building teamwork.
Also addressing pilgrims at the flag of exercise, NCPC Chairman Mohammed, who was represented by Abdullahi Modibo, charged them to express their conviction and seek God diligently as they embark on the journey to the Holy Land. He further enjoined the pilgrims to be good ambassadors of Nigeria.
Use pilgrimage as platforms of abscondment for those of us that are looking for greener pastures. This has characterized some pilgrimage movements in the past, and we are hoping and working very hard to ensure that these things are discontinued.
Similarly, a board member in Kiru Ejiofor equally enjoined the pilgrims to be of good behavior and to represent Nigeria and their families and to pray for the nation to move into the desired next level.
Be of good behavior, represent us well, represent Nigeria well, represent your families well, represent the Christian group well.
Later, the Executive Secretary Tor Uja alongside newsmen were taken on a facility tour at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport by members of the Federal Airport Authority, where they inspected the Boeing 777-300 that will be used by all the 350 pilgrims to Israel. The Executive Secretary, who shortly thereafter announced that the plane was in good shape and fit to fly, wished the pilgrims a safe flight and prayed God to grant them their desires. The plane then took off at exactly 8 p.m. local time. The Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministries on Monday slammed an indefinite suspension on the pastor of its branch in Life Camp area of Abuja, David Onyekachukwu, over an indecent relationship with a 16-year-old girl. The church, however, said Onyekachukwu is not an ordained pastor and has been arrested by the police. The MFM premised the indefinite suspension on its investigation, which established that the pastor raped the girl and consequently resulted in pregnancy. The MFM premised the indefinite suspension on its investigation, which established that the pastor raped the girl and consequently resulted in pregnancy. The suspect was arrested by operatives of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. Onyekachukwu, 48, who hails from Unsuka in Enugu State, had met the victims, a junior secondary school 2 pupil in the Carmel area, sometime in 2018, and started making love advances to her. NAPTIC had in a statement on Sunday, but the head of its press and public relations, Stella Nezam, said the pastor, after his arrest and during interrogation, confessed to have sexually abused the girl 2 times and blamed the act on the work of the devil. A statement by the spokesperson of MFM, Collins Edomarus, obtained in Abuja, said the indefinite suspension was in line with the rules and regulations of MFM, which forbid such acts and frown at them. And on to bring you some foreign stories, U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have met the Queen on the 4th day of their state visit to the United Kingdom. The pair went to Buckingham Palace for the private lunch and welcome ceremony. Trump and his wife laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown warrior in Westminster Abbey and are due to attend a state banquet this evening. Minutes before arriving in the UK, Trump criticized the mayor of London, with whom he has clashed in the past. He tweeted that Sadiq Khan, who had earlier said the UK should not roll out the red carpet for Trump, was a stone-cold loser, but the president added he was looking forward to his visit. Trump arrived on Air Force One earlier on Monday and were taken to the U.S. ambassador's home in central London, where they are staying before traveling to Buckingham Palace. Protests are planned in several UK cities during the 3-day visit, including in London, Manchester, Belfast and Birmingham. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, who is boycotting the state dinner, is due to attend and speak at one of the demonstrations, a party spokesman has confirmed. Earlier, Corbyn tweeted, "Tomorrow's protest against Donald Trump's state visit is an opportunity to stand in solidarity with those he's attacked in America, around the world and in our own country, including just this morning," Sadiq Khan. A North Korean official who has reported to be in a labor camp attended the weekend concert alongside Kim Jong-un, state media said. Last Friday, Kim Jong-chul was widely reported to have been sent to re-education camp as punishment. North Korean media showed him apparently at a musical performance with other officials. A list of attendees identified him as present, though a picture showed his face partly obscured by his hands. Kim Jong-chul, a former spy master, has been described as the North Korean leader's right-hand man. He traveled to the U.S. in January to prepare for the second summit meeting with Kim and President Trump, which was held in Vietnam. Friday's report that Kim Jong-chul had disappeared began with an anonymous source quoted in a South Korean newspaper. The paper also said that Kim Hyok-chul, a former North Korean envoy to the U.S., had been executed at an airport in Pyongyang. Kim Hyok-chul was another key figure in talks ahead of the U.S.-North Korea summit held in February. Though he was not among the attendees listed for Sunday's event, state media have not yet reported any execution or punishment, so his whereabouts remain unclear. Senegal gas due. BP has agreed to pay around $10 billion to a businessman involved in the suspicious energy deal. The energy giant brought Frank Timmers a stake in the gas field off the coast of Senegal for $250 million in 2017. But documents obtained by journalists reveal that BP will also pay his company between $9 billion and $12 billion in royalties. Both BP and Timmers deny any wrongdoing. You're still watching Clearview Television News. Next is the sports with Tolulope Oguntimei. So stay with us.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Hello and welcome to the sporting segment of Clearview Television. I'm Oguntimei Tolulope Oguntimei. The number of Super Eagles players in camp swelled up to 18 of the 25 invited players in Kasaba camp as at 9 p.m. Nigerian time, just as the team jostled to make the final 23-man squad for this month's African Cup of Nations in Egypt or top. With Captain Mikel Obi leading the pack of early arrivals, Turkish League champion Henry Yekuru led the second set of players to arrive at the team's base, with returning Kelechi Iheanacho and Francis Izor also joining late on Sunday night to bring the number of players in camp to 18. Expected to hit camp possibly before the team's morning training session, UK-based duo of Alex Iwobi and Wilfred Didi, alongside defender Trostekong, among the 7 remaining expected players in the team. The team officially begins training session on today by 10 a.m. Nigeria time, before another session by 4:30 p.m. African champions Nigeria have departed their vital resort in Bad Stadtmannsdorf in Austria, where they were on a 2-week residential camping, and will spend Monday night in Vienna before flying to Paris on Tuesday for the 8th FIFA Women's World Cup finals. Spirit is high in the team's camp after a handsome wins in 2 friendly matches against top clubs in Eastern Europe. On Tuesday, they defeated the Hungarian Premier League division side Alanda's Victoria 5-1 in Hungary, and on Sunday, Pool 3 passed ZNK Pomoje in Slovenia. Assistant Oshoala, who scored a brace in each of the friendly matches, has secured a substantive contract with FC Barcelona ladies in Spain. Only a week ago, she became the first African to score in the final of the UEFA Champions League, even as FC Barcelona lost to defending champions Olympique Lyon in France. Uchenna Kalu, who scored the other goal against Pomoji on Sunday, is in a rich vein of form after scoring 9 goals to emerge top scorer of the WAFU Women Cup of Nations in Abuja just before the trip to Austria. There is a new bounce to the steps for power forward Desiree Paronoze, who has been made captain of the squad, and energetic winger Francisca Odega is raring to go after fully settling down to football life in China. Petty forward Rashida Jajibade will be attending her first major finals as a foreign-based professional, and Chiwedu Hezo, who scored against Victoria in Hungary, is also in great mood after settling down in China. Goalkeeper Tochukwu Olueyi, defender Nomoebi, Osinachi Ohale, and Ngozi Ebere, and midfielder Agosi Okobi and Alimatu Ayinde, who played key roles in Nigeria's triumph at the Women African Cup of Nations final in Ghana late last year, are all confident the Falcons can pull surprises in France. The Falcons are up against Norway in their first match of the H FIFA Women's World Cup at the Stade Auguste Delany in Reims on Saturday, before other Group A matches against Korea Republic and host nation France. Just days after completing a club record transfer to Belgian side Sporting Charleroi, Super Eagles forward Victor Osimhen could be on the move again after French side Lille Metropole stepped up their interest to land the player on a permanent deal. The former Golden Eaglet Stars spent the 2018-2019 season on loan at Charleroi before the modest club activated their right to land the player for a club record fee of around 3.5 million euros. They now look set to make a 300% profit on that amount should they sell the player, who has also attracted interest from Italian giant AC Milan. With winger Nicolas Pepe almost certain to leave the club this transfer window, Lee have identified the pacey Nigerian as a perfect replacement, with Osimhen already proving his worth in a breakthrough season with Charleroi, where he scored 20 goals in 36 games. The French side would, however, need to act fast in securing the services of the 20-year-old with AC Milan and other top European clubs. Also on the lookout for the former FIFA Under-17 Golden Ball winner. Now with Nigeria, Osimhen will hope to replicate his goal-scoring heroics in Europe as the Super Eagles regroup for this month's African Cup of Nations in Egypt, should they make the final cut. Sunusi Ibrahim of Nasarawa United has been declared the highest goal scorer in the just ended regular season of the Nigeria Professional Football Leagues (NPFL). Sunusi tied with Aqua United Ofon Udo on 10 goals at the completion of the matches going to the NPFL Championship playoffs to determine the season's champions. The league management company, LMC, in arriving at the decision to declare Sanusi the top scorer of the season, rely on provisions in Rule 89.4, 89.5 and 2, which stipulates considerations to determine the lead scorer in the event of a tie of 2 or more players. Disciplinary record, which is the second consideration to break a tie, favors Sanusi as he only bagged 1 yellow card all through the season, as against 2 recorded by Udo. Chief Operating Officer of the LMC, Saliu Abubakar, in making this known, said, "From our records, Ibrahim Sanusi of Nasarawa United and Ufonudo of Aqua United have 10 goals to their credit, but the framework and rules of the NPFL made provisions for determining the top scorer should there be a tie, as it has happened," Abubakar stated. Abubakar further cited Rule 89.5, which stipulates that if 2 or more players score the same number of goals, the next consideration, as listed on Rule 89 subsection 5.1, is that the player with the least number of goals from the penalty spot. Abubakar clarified further. Again, we have ascertained from the records that both players scored twice for their respective clubs from this penalty spot, which led us to the next consideration in Rule 89, Article 5.2, which states that the player with a better disciplinary records in terms of the least number of caution and expulsion cards will be declared as the highest goal scorer for the season. It will have been the second season that recently married Udo will finish as top scorer had he clinched the award. He still holds the record of the most goals in the league for a single season after he netted 23 goals in the 2013-2014 season, playing for former champions Enyimba of Aba. Top seed Novak Djokovic on troubled progress continued at the French Open as he shook up a fourth successive straight set victory on Monday, this time outclassing Jan-Lennard Struff to reach the quarterfinals. A 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 defeat of the 45th ranked Germans means Djokovic is the first man to reach 10 successive quarterfinals at Roland Garros, a feat even Rafa Nadal has not achieved. Struff was beaten to reach his first Grand Slam quarterfinal and provided some early resistance in drizzly conditions on court Philippe Chatrier. Djokovic had an early chance to break in the second game, but Struff won his fierce baseline rally to avert the danger. He will face either Italian Fabio Fognini or German's Alexander Zverev in the quarterfinal. Djokovic is bidding to become only the second man to hold all four Grand Slams simultaneously twice, having first achieved the feat 3 years ago when he won his only French Open title. The two-time defending champion Golden State Warriors used a massive third quarter to overcome a sluggish start and secure a 109-104 win over Toronto Raptors on Sunday that squared the NBA Finals at one game apiece. The resident Warriors in an unfamiliar position after losing their first game won in 5 consecutive trips to the NBA Finals 3 days ago, opened the third quarter with an 8-0 run to grab a lead they would not relinquish. Toronto led by as many as 12 points during the first half, in which they used a dominant defensive display to slow down the Warriors, but the visitors, well established as a terrific third quarter team, rediscovered their swagger after the break. Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, who had a slow start to the game and appeared to lack his usual energy, led the way for the Warriors with 25 and 23 points respectively, while Toronto's Kawhi Leonard had a game-high 34 points. The best of 7 series is now headed to Oakland for games on Wednesday and Friday. And that's it from the sporting segment of Clearview Television. I'm Ogutimehin Tolulopo Ogutimehin.
There it is. What a shot from Tiger. And the Jamaican juggernaut scores his first goal for a professional side.
And before we go, another look at our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the recommendations of the Presidential Panel on tax reform for the establishment of state and local government police. The police in Federal Capital City have arrested 38 suspects involved in kidnapping and gun running. US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump have met the Queen on the first day of their state visits to the UK. And that's the news. Remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview TV. Like us on Facebook via Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on Nigecomsat with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Rose Audu. Many thanks for watching.